Good morning. I'd like to call the January 20th Tourism Committee meeting to order. The first item of business is to approve our minutes from December 1st, 2025 meeting. Motion by Mr. Crescido.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
That's Christian. An easy one.
They really do know how to say.
I know you do.
Second by Ms. Runyon. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody wish to address the floor? No? Okay, moving on. We have two action items in front of us today. The first is a request to authorize an agreement with the Adirondack Regional Tourism Council for regional marketing services in the amount of $48,222 as required by the New York State Matching Funds Program. Heather, you wanna?
Absolutely. So these dollars are dollars that we fund the Adirondack Region Tourism Council as part of our matching funds application. Just a quick history, all New York State TPAs, which is a tourism promotional agency, which is what we are as the designated agency representative for Warren County. And therefore we apply for funds and then we receive the funds through New York State Matching Funds Program. Part of that requires that a portion of those funds go to the region to support the region to represent the Adirondack region in marketing programs. And so this is the amount that was in the award. So that was $48,322, and it goes to the Adirondack Regional Tourism Council.
Very good. Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Mr. Stroud, seconded by Ms. Gilligan. All in favor?
Quick question.
Oh, question, I'm sorry, yes.
What's the term? Is it just 2026?
It's a one-year term. Thank you for that. Yep,
Okay.
calendar year, yes.
Any other questions for Heather? No? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We can move on to our request. Our second request is to authorize a new contract for 2 years with Wine, Water, and Wonders of New York State in the amount of $15,000 per year.
So this is a program, an international program that we've been a partner of for the last 2 years. And part of that, we are included in marketing programs to the international market. I will share this with new committee members. Last December, we presented an overview of all international programs we participated in, and one of those was Wine, Water, and Wonders. And by being a partner of theirs last year and the year before, we were able to be a part of a grant that they received in the amount of over $250,000 that got us into some great opportunities and some good PR, as well as some FAM representation and some shows that we were represented about, and then also got us into various what I'm going to call bookable travel, which means that our hotels and businesses were featured in itineraries being sold internationally.
I have a motion to bring that to the floor. Ms. Runyon, second by Ms. Gilligan. Discussion? Questions? Nothing. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We'll move on to the year in review.
Yes. So I thought that in an effort to, and not many of you are new to this committee or tourism, but I thought that this was a great way to start off this year by giving you an overview of our 2025. Things are still coming in, but we have a good idea of how our marketing did within our department. So these are all marketing communication performances studies, and this is completed by my staff and myself in reporting period January through December of 2025. This starts on page 7. It is a lot of reading, but a lot of clarification, and then each month we will provide a quick overview of monthly reports, very similar to this. So we can see a gauge of how we're doing from a marketing and PR perspective. So again, it's page 7 of the packet. So looking at eBlast performances, eBlast is newsletters that we send to our distribution list. And we sent over 350,000 marketing emails in 25, which achieved some strong engagement rates of open rates of 40%. Click rates. So this is when someone actually opens the email and then clicks on something in that email that brings them to the information they clicked on. For example, if we have some communications on upcoming events or communications on signing up for various e-newsletter communications. Bounce rate is about 2.9% and unsubscribed rate is 0.2, which is pretty good. Looking at the travel guide distribution last year, and we still are distributing through the end of this year, or excuse me, through the end of this month. And actually this 118,146 travel guides were distributed so far. This does not include all of December. This is part of December. And we distribute it through a mix of in-market, paid, showed base, and direct mail channels. So in-market distribution is about a little less than 32,000 delivered to over 190 local businesses, including the Albany Airport Center, which received 1,100. We distributed over 3,000 at local events, 4,700 with Anderson RV and Campground Show, and the New York's Best Vacation, a little over 600, excuse me. Some paid distribution channels. So this is where we're at local welcome centers, information centers, distribution centers, so on. We distributed a little over 70,000 to various markets, and then a direct mail piece that went out to 1,200 mass mailings through AAA and partners from New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Montreal partners, as well as individual mailings of just shy of 5,000 with strong demand from New York, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, plus Canada and selected national markets. Moving on to page 8, which looks at the events content distribution. So we started changing our website in 2024, was a new website launch. And so we had 527 events that were added to the Visit LakeGeorge.com site, with 51 of those events featured on I Love New York website. Little history on I Love New York. They look for specific events for us to upload. We provide almost all of our events that fit within those parameters. And I say almost because they have certain requirements and then they only accept certain ones. So even though we upload them, they don't always accept those events. So that's why I say almost all of them are featured on their site. It's based on their requirements and their choosing. Blog content. One thing I want to give credit to is Warren County and Lake George area has always been very well in writing the blogs, which is great history within the staff. I feel like almost everybody there, minus Jessica, pretty much participates in writing of the blogs and has even prior to me coming. Something new this year is we're supporting our blogs with SEO and evergreen content that helps us to be found online. So 20 new blogs are written, 71 blogs updated or edited, and then our SEO team, which we partner with Rooted Rock on, they take over and look at the data and the research that's coming in to show what travel words are common and make sure that those blogs include those SEO words. Something new that we started probably in the 3rd and 4th quarter of 25, accounts and offerings. We provide an ability for any tourism business to upload any of their promotional offerings. Those promotional offerings are supported by an annual campaign and targeted to those looking for savings on upcoming travel and trips. So 36 new business accounts uploaded their account offerings, and 48 promotional offers and coupons were created. The promotional plugin launched in June 16th of 2025. Additional ongoing efforts of listing updates and active SEO tracking and AI-driven optimization. So one of our biggest successes is managing our social media internally. We have multiple digital, partner social media programs, sorry. So we continue to strengthen our digital position across major platforms. We deliver reach, engagement, website traffic, and our strategy is successfully leveraging Facebook for large-scale awareness and website traffic, and Instagram looks to drive strong organic growth and younger audience targeting. And emerging platforms like Threads and Pinterest are further expanding reach with minimal financial investment on this. So looking at Facebook, it's the primary reach and driver of our traffic, 70.7 million total views, 1.7 million link clicks, meaning that your ad or post was reviewed on Facebook and someone clicked on those and went to our site. That is, remember, just on the entire 2025 year. Core audience for Facebook is family and Gen X. Top age groups, women 45 to 54, which is 27%, followed by 35 to 44, which is 22. So some top results was Lake George Winter Carnival. This was a paid event post. A camping promotion we did, this was paid and it was not an event. And then a scenic Fort George Road reel. This was organic. So all of them produced great results and driver to our website. And we are showing that we are a leader in the official tourism Facebook page in the Adirondacks. If you look at the Lake George area, we have 380,000 followers. Visit Adirondack has 127,000 followers, and Roost Lake Placid 80K has 102,000. So we continue to be that leader in Facebook. We then go on to Instagram performance, and this is really the fastest growing platform for us. We went from 64,000 followers to 73,000 followers, 4.2 million views with 68,000 links, clicks to our website. That more than doubled 24. And our growth driven primarily by organic content. Again, our audience is strong with millennials and Gen Z, and our largest segment, is women ages 35 to 44, which represents 34% of our audience. So our top content, again, was Adirondack Balloon Festival. It's an organic post. To give you an idea, and I apologize, I didn't start with, the organic post is free posting. It's what we put out that's those looking at our content on our site, on our channels. Then we have the Garnet mining reel, and then start planning your summer vacation. That was boosted. Boosted again means paid. And again, on the competitive market, we are on track to be the most followed tourism Instagram account in the Adirondacks by spring and summer of 2026. So our team is looking to be that leader, not only in Facebook, but then to follow in suit with the Instagram. Then looking at two other pieces is Threads. It's fully organic, meaning that there's no paid dollars behind that. Followers increased from 11,000 to 13,000. And one of our top posts was Frozen Glen Lake video. That was produced by Casey in our office. And then Pinterest, again, fully organic strategy. We went from 55,000 impressions and 18,000 audience reach. Again, it's strong engagement in millennial and Gen Z, and it's really more balanced gender audience than other platforms. Moving on to paid media and giving an overview. This has a contracted vendor, and they also do some paid social. And so this brings in a $19 million impression, 4.1 reach, and 405,000 clicks. Again, clicks from their social feeds that they advertise on, and the click that goes directly to our site. So about 2%, which is above the benchmark of 0.9%. So we have strong engagement on the paid social, and performing campaigns was the general discounts, which we launched in June of last year. Pet friendly lodging and top attractions. They all exceeded 2.8 to 3% click-through rates. Outdoor adventure drove the largest volume, with niche campaigns delivering the highest efficiency. Looking at connected TV, this is CTV. And what that is 3.8 million impressions, 99% video completion rate, meaning that they watch the entire video up to 99% of it. And this garnished 20,000 website visits. And then the audience skewed a little heavier, 55 plus in the connected TV audience. Then digital video, this was 26,000 website visits, garnishing 2,000 clicks. And the click-through rate is 0.5, video completion 61, which is below the 70% benchmark. So in the digital video, its best completion rate came from the shorter 15 seconds, especially family focus. So what that tells us is, in order for us to get a higher completion rate, we need to have a shorter spot on that, and that's something we're working on for this year. Something new we did this in 25 was the audio advertising, and what that is just an Casey designed an audio clip from our existing TV commercials, and what that did is it pushed out in various audio platforms, and 681,000 impressions, 96% completion rate, again, meaning that they listened to the entire commercial and didn't stray from that, and that exceeded the 85% benchmark. And then of those that listened to the audio, 4,100 visited the website from those particular audio spots. Native advertising, this tends to be something that is growing for us. Native is, let's look at some of your news. Everyone sits down and reads the news a little bit on whatever channel you're looking at, and therefore the native appears in between those excerpts of the news and or related content that you're reading online. So this created 10 million impressions, 86,000 clicks to the site from those native advertising, which created a click-through rate of 0.82%, which is 3 times the benchmark of 0.3. And so these were 215,000 website visits. And therefore that means it also includes people going back to the site. So I say 86,000 clicks, but then there were many more that went back and re-clicked on those native advertising. Focus on outdoor advertising and general events were the top traffic drivers. Retargeting, this is where we look to retarget ads that maybe people had seen, but maybe not clicked on. And so we're clicked on it, but didn't necessarily go through to our website. And therefore we're re-showcasing an ad to encourage them to come back again. So 1.7 impressions, 6,100 clicks, really resulting in 18,000 website visits and exceeding the benchmark. Google Ad Search. This is when we're all in our search platforms and we are looking for things to do in the Lake George area, because that's what everybody does when they get up in the morning, is look for vacationing in the Lake George area. Just making sure you're all paying attention. Thanks for the smiles. So we had 74,000 clicks, which is a 12.53 click-through rate. This is not only from a marketing perspective, but this is what our SEO team is working very hard on, is making sure the content on our site is resonating. So our cost is about 53 cents, which is far below the benchmark of 153. 468 conversions. So what that means is they came to our site and they actually did something. They actually went in and probably subscribed to our newsletter, asked for a travel guide, and or clicked out to our partner pages. That is a conversion. If anyone clicks out to our partner pages to check them out, we measure that as well. So really the top things to do, top campaigns or things to do, events and on the water. No surprisers there. And then looking at Google Analytics. So this is on-site performance overall. 155,000 users, 187 sessions. So a user is one unique person. I am one user, but I can create 5 sessions, which means I went back to that site 5 different times. Engagement rate is 42%. Cost per click traffic showed the highest emerging rate of 75.86% and longest session duration. So really the key takeaways for the 2025 season of marketing is we delivered some strong integrated marketing performances across paid media, social, email, content, web, and print, reinforcing that Lake George is present in core regional and cross-border markets. Paid social, native, and Google Ads were top performers for our channels, consistently exceeding click-through rates and cost per click, benchmarks, and efficiently driving engagement and conversion. So the upper funnel channels, so click-through video, audio, digital, it drove some awareness while search and native and paid really captured high intent traffic. Digital video remains a key optimization opportunity. So we take these key takeaways and help us drive and build out 25. Looking at email marketing, travel guide distributions, it gives us some strong audience health and intent with high engagement and a focus on driving market and high intent to travel. So our website continues to serve as a regional event hub, supported by fresh SEO-driven content and new promotional offerings designed to drive conversions. One of our biggest SEO pages are our websites, our events page, because that's a leader in one thing that drives traffic and drives visitation. And then finally, social media leadership remains strong. Facebook leading reach and traffic, Instagram delivering rapid organic growth in emerging platforms, efficiently expanding reach and audience, solidifying that we are the digital leader across the Adirondacks. And I do want to point out that one of the unique things that we offer our tourism businesses is the fact that all of this is accessible to every tourism business for free. You can have your listing on here. You can have your event post. You can have your coupons and any offers that you have. And it's supported by over a $2 million campaign that we strategically place each year. And that is free to every business. You have the ability to update all of your content on your listing page, including videos, including photos, and including content that you want to drive. So I think that it's important that we continue to advocate and educate our businesses that by being a part of our website, you are a part of this marketing campaign and the ability to see how successful you are on our site as well. I know it was a lot. Normally it will not be that long, but that's a full year in review. And then by the end of this week, we'll be sending out also to all of the supervisors, a list of our staff, how to contact us and what each of us does, so that if there's persons within your areas, your destinations, your counties, your villages, your towns, sorry, I've been talking a lot, please push them our way. We will be more than happy to help them along the way.
Good job.
Questions?
Great,
Good job.
thank you.
As a
It was
happy-
wonderful. Lots of information.
Yes, thank you for your
There
patience.
has to be some questions here. Yes.
All right, so CTR is click-through rate.
Yes,
CPC,
is cost per click. So that's more of the overall cost it is to click.
and CTV,
Is connected TV, so you can look at that as any of your 10,000 apps that you probably subscribe to get the 5 shows that you're trying to watch.
would Lake George TV be tied to that?
Not necessarily, but some of the programs that they do push out goes to CTV platforms. It's a little different in that ours is buying the programs that are tied to those like a Google or Fubu or Prime or things like that, where theirs appears as on that platform itself as a link.
So some of them are, maybe.
Some of them are, so I go back to our conversations that I've had with them. Unfortunately, some of them don't report the Lake George TV, where they are within their platform. Some are great at it and some do not. But when we buy it, it's a little different because you're paying for it where they're just a subscriber that puts it onto their site.
So that's almost like its own world.
I don't want to say it's its own world, but it's it's done differently. Ours is through purchasing.
Okay.
And theirs is done through a partnership through them.
And SEO,
And SEO is search engine optimization.
Sure.
And I do want to write a note to follow up on exactly where and how the relationship is with Lake George TV and those CTV
okay,
providers.
just curious.
Yeah, no, I am as well. Thank you.
Thanks.
CTV providers. I know there's a lot of acronyms that
Well,
I think in the world now, I think we're just an acronym world, but.
That need refreshing.
And if anyone has any questions afterwards that come up, please don't hesitate to contact.
I got a couple, nothing big. What's the average percentage for click-throughs? What's a number we should be looking at? Is it 1% or, and how, or is it depend on
It,
the campaign, the platform and other?
I think it's twofold. It does depend on the way, like, for example, organic traffic doesn't necessarily produce a higher click-through rate.
Okay,
However, in our case, because of the engagement on the social, it depends on how engaged you are. Our team is on the site every day, multiple times a day, answering people. So that's more engagement. So our account may differ than others' accounts because of the engagement level, and you need to kind of put those two together. So
Okay.
blanketly, it's very difficult to answer that. It's
Yeah.
more based
Look
on
at
individual chat.
we should
I
look
would
at- yeah,
recommend that,
Yeah,
yes.
we should look at that. I know the accounts and offerings, we had 36. Is that a number, we're happy with? No.
No, it should be a lot
Yeah,
more.
it should be a lot
So
more. I think it's not as user-friendly to navigate through that as it could be for some of the smaller properties.
they can call our office and we do it for them.
Yeah,
They can call our office and Kyle will do it for them. They don't have to be savvy at all.
is that message out to them as good as it? Yeah, I think we-
As best as we can.
it's a
yes,
good
but if
tool,
we
I
can
do.
Advocate for that, that
Yeah.
would be helpful.
okay,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
And we also secure some, in various different ways. So for example, we look at the local newspapers. We look at, social media. And if we see certain programs happening, we reach out to businesses. I know
Yeah.
Kyle has reached out to many businesses on that, or we go to the individual hoteliers or attractions and say, hey, we see this on your site. Can we mimic it? So yeah,
yeah. And I'm not
Absolutely.
critical of the effort. I just
No,
think it's a good tool.
it is a
and
very
it
good
could get
tool.
it out there a little
but it
more
has
somehow.
marketing dollars behind it,
Yeah.
which is really important because it's strategically geared towards those who are looking for discounts on upcoming vacation trips. So yeah,
Great.
thank you for that.
Thank you.
Good.
So,
Anybody else? All right. In that case, I will open up the privilege of the floor. Ed, did you have something you wanted to?
You did. No, go ahead, you're already up.
Thank you, Chairwoman. Heather, I'm sorry, I probably should have gotten to you a little sooner about this, but I've been here long enough to understand the benchmarks we have about click-through rates and everything else. But I'm curious, how do we truly measure the effectiveness of marketing? Now, I think about marketing, it's just about awareness. But how do we, is there other ways that we can look to say, how effective is it in terms of enhancing and expanding our tourism economy? And I'm not sure if that even exists, but it would be nice to find some way for me, and I'm sure others on the board, to kind of get a bigger picture about what we can measure. I know we can measure click-throughs, sorry. And I know we can measure the benchmarks against what others are doing on click-throughs. But then again, we have Lake George and we've got some great photos and stuff we can put out there. So I'm just you know, if we can think about that in the future, I'd like to get some insights about how other people, maybe it's even from the corporate side, what they're doing to measure the effectiveness of their marketing. Thank you.
Yeah, John, I just want to go back to your question. So the tourism department advertises on connected TV platforms. Lake George TV is a connected TV platform. So in other words, they might run ads on Netflix. We are Netflix, basically. Does that clarify it?
No, but it might be another half an hour before I get to.
Yeah. In other words, if we accepted ads, we would be the kind of platform that they might advertise on.
So I'm just making sure we're trying to get the connections.
Yeah.
Made, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Can I talk?
Oh, yes, of course.
I'm just trying to make sure that we, you know, your effort, I think, is outstanding. The team, the tourism department team's effort is outstanding. Just make sure we're meshing all this together, Lake George Regional Chamber and CVB. And, you know, just I think we're all working together. I just want to see if the numbers show it. Okay, thanks.
And I'm sorry, I couldn't see you back there.
No, that's okay. That's okay. That was the easiest way I thought to explain it
Thanks.
was we are a connected TV platform.
Okay, good, thank you.
Yeah.
Any other?
Good morning, Gary Thornquist, GM of the Lake George RV Park. Just a few questions for Heather, and you don't have to answer them now. Maybe if you could email me later or something. If the audio portion that you talk about, I assume that's maybe radio that we're talking about, or podcasts, or what is the audio?
It's all usually radio and the radio platforms. So it's very similar to how CTV is working, the connected TV, and we go on those platforms. These are all the digital platforms. So it's not necessarily a radio station as it is more of the digital, you know, the digital, radio, or not radio. What's one of the ones that I'm looking for? And I don't want to look at my site here, but losing track of the thing. I will send you a list of where we send those.
I assume it's
Yeah.
not local, right? It's more
No, it's
out
more.
there. Okay.
So I can send you both the targets as well.
Yeah.
Because we'll target it based on our audience.
Okay.
So it's not local at all.
Yes.
It's more digital, and it's based on the subscribers' demographics.
Good, okay. The other question was, and maybe this is something you could email me later, just the cost of distribution for the guide. I know there's a lot of distribution channels out there, and sometimes they're quite expensive. I just wondered what the total cost of distribution for the guide is.
Yep.
Or is it a budgeted item or something like that to get the true cost of the book? And the only other comment I'd like to make would be, is there a chance on the website for you to randomize how the properties are listed? They're all alphabetical. And it really hurts like businesses like mine that fall on page 3 or 4. The way it's displayed to on the bottom, it looks like the first page is almost complete because there's 2 spots left off on the bottom. It looked like there's no more businesses displayed. So if there's any way to randomize that, that would put everybody in more of a fair, you know, situation, especially the ones with names, you know, that are lower in the alphabet. With today's digital people, you can see on searches for Google, do you rarely go more than 1 or 2 pages in on a Google search, hardly ever. And it's just would make a lot of sense to do that, but if you can't within the format, I understand, but that would be.
We can ask our provider.
Yeah, just if they could mix things up and display different, I'm not asking to be first always, but if they could mix it up, it's always we're third or fourth, and I just feel that people aren't necessarily seeing us that are maybe looking for us and thinking that we're not on the site. So,
And so, may I ask a clarification? I just want to make sure that I'm going to provide you everything. Do you want the total cost of the travel guide or just the total cost of distribution?
Well, I think the cost of the travel guide's in the budget already, right? I just wonder what the distribution and kind of where you're distributing it, if that would help, like, the different, I know, you mentioned a few different avenues that you're distributing. And then finally, I'd just like to say to the committee, since it's new, please reach out to businesses if you have questions. We want more engagement. We want to talk more about it. We want you to ask questions, find out how we're doing. Don't be afraid to reach out to us. We want to be a resource to this community. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
All righty. Gina, do you have anything you want to add to anything?
She's there for the outpacks, I think, but she's not paying
Okay.
attention.
All right. Mrs. Collins, you want to share anything about what's happening in the city of Glens Falls? I mean, we have.
No, but I just wanted to tell you an experience I had skiing up at Gore. And actually I ski quite a bit. So when I get into a gondola with 3 people that have never been to Gore, you can imagine my questions. So there were 3 people from Brazil, Manhattan and Long Island. And this was their first visit to Gore. So they were renting an Airbnb in Athol, New York. So I thought, wow, the ride ended and I couldn't ask them how they got to Athol. But I thought, you know what? We're inviting, new people are coming up here and they're visiting. The skiing is great. So congratulations to you, Heather, and the team, and then I'll tell you the others another time. Short and sweet.
Thank you. Well then, anybody else have any comments to make? No? Do I have a motion to adjourn? Mr. Stroud, second by Ms. Runyon. All in favor? Is anybody opposed? No. Okay.